This is take 3 with JFB, where I pose random questions to John Barnes, the founder of Myofascial Release, and give him 3 minutes or less to answer.
So a couple months after that, I noticed that I'm usually very calm and flow with things, and I was a little bit more agitated than was normal for me. So I got a call one day from Dr. Barry Gillespie. Barry's a TMJ specialist that basically was a periodontist and oral surgeon, and he eventually moved into doing cranial work and unwinding and myofascial release. So he had taken some of my seminars. One day, Dr. Gillespie called me spontaneously. It said, John, he's a very intuitive man. He said, John, I'm picking up that you're hurting and need some help. I'm going to come over and treat you tonight. I said, Barry, I really appreciate that. But I said, I have to drive up to New York City tonight after I get done treating patients. I'm giving a seminar up there. He said, John, I'm coming over at 9 o'clock. So I said, okay, Barry. So Barry came over and started to treat me, and I started to unwind. And all of a sudden, I'm back in that whole scenario where the cowboys had lassoed me and dragged me along the creek bed, attempting to drown me. So I was laying there as if I was dead. And all of a sudden, I exploded out of the water and grabbed one of them by the neck, which was Barry's neck at the time, and threw him across the room. He ended upside down in the corner of a room, poor Barry. And we got into a hell of a fight. So I survived. So when the unwinding was over, I then got in my car and drove up to New York. Those of you familiar with the East Coast, the drive from Pennsylvania to New York City, you go up pretty much Route 95 and you go through an area where there's a lot of oil refineries. The horrible smell as you pass through that area. So there wasn't much traffic on the road, fortunately, and I was going maybe 65 or 70. And all of a sudden, here I am, this Native American again, and these guys are still chasing me. I was high on a cliff. I looking down and I saw them on horseback just under me. I jumped off the cliff and I had a hatchet in my hand and I damn hit him. Excuse me, I didn't mean to scare you. I killed the bastard. You know what? It felt really good. Horrible thing to say. So all of a sudden I'm driving again. It's like this whole thing is going on 65 miles an hour. So driving to New York City, the seminar goes really well. My staff had screwed up my schedule where I was working 6 weeks straight without a day off. And I was really tired. So I was looking forward to the next weekend where I could have a little time off and get some rest. And I got a call from a well-known psychiatrist in the Philadelphia area that I knew. And he said, I'm giving a seminar this weekend, and I'd really love to have you there. So I begrudgingly said, okay, just to be nice, you know. I really didn't want to go. It was being given by a man who was in the Edgar Casey Foundation. If most of you may be familiar with Edgar Casey, if not, you really should look into him. He's written a wonderful book. I think it's called The River Runs Through It. And let me just back off and just go into him just a little bit. He was really an incredible psychic. He was called the Sleeping Prophet. And I forget the exact story of how this all started for him as a man, because he'd been a very simple man all his life. And uh, when he would go to sleep, his wife would record this, and he would go into some other state, and began to be able to help people with formulas that came from centuries ago. This has been looked into it quite carefully, and that when all else had failed, he was really helping them in a very significant way and a very consistent way. So, uh, anyway, this man then worked for his foundation and was going to come out of the closet as a psychic on his own. So there was about 10 or 12 other people in the room. And when I started to listen to this man, I really liked him. He was very straight and was I really appreciated the things he was saying. But I could hear myself, my critical voice saying, "I know all this, I could have gotten some rest and all that stuff you go through." And my intuitive voice burst through and said, "Shut up. You can learn from every person at every instant." So I've learned to listen to my intuitive voice. So I quieted down. And this man then said, "Let's do an exercise. I'd like you to break up into twos, pairs that don't know each other." So a young woman in her early 20s came over to me and said, "Could I be your partner?" I said, "Sure." So I'm going to describe this exercise. It's really incredible. I teach it. You may want to try it as I'm talking and then later on give it a try yourself. So one of the things you say, you're sitting in chairs facing each other. Now, so you can do this by yourself. So I want you to quiet down, slow your breathing. I want you to pull your energy back to your spine. So I did that. Then he said, "I want you to pull your energy to the back of your spine." And somehow this creates a space for your essence, your energy field to come into you. It's quite remarkable. If you will practice this, all of you, this will help you to center yourself in a very deep, profound way and help others. So I started to pull my energy back to my spine. And all of a sudden, the young lady in front of me screamed and jumped back. And everybody turns around, of course, and looks at us. And they said, the lecturer said, "What's wrong?" She said, "I don't know." See, this man in front of me turned into a big cat and he leaped at me and he had white owl feathers on. Now, what I didn't say was the Native American that I was when I was being attacked had white owl feathers on and a loincloth and a hatchet. So how the hell that happened, I have no clue. She said, and she said, she was like scared. She said, "I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm a hairdresser. Just came with my girlfriend." So it was amazing. So anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's a continuum that occurs once you open the door. By opening the door, I mean that we need to learn to center ourselves in a very deep way. We do that for other people to help them. That's a very honorable thing to do. But then we start to notice that as we live that way, because it's the way we were meant to live, it changes our life for the positive and makes us truly a great therapist. So I'd like you all to commit to leading more of a centered life. It will help you in many, many ways. You'll get better and better at it, but you have to stick with it. You have to have a little discipline, and you will fall off your path once in a while. I've tried just about everything out there. I like to speak from experience, not just conceptual. And I've never found anything even come close to myofascial release in such a growth medium for us. So there's more to this than just freeing pain. That's so important. Helping people with their physiological distress. But there's something much deeper available to each of us. So, I've said this to most of you before too. Our education wasn't true education. It was mass hypnosis. It's not until we get into myofascial release we realize how deeply programmed we've been. It's conditioning, it's mind control. And so, if myofascial release allows us to hold up a mirror, to look at our limitations and our fears, and if we have the courage to do something about it, then myofascial release is the path for us all to do that. Then we can start to grow again. If we become complacent, things things get pretty bad toward the end of life. So if you want a quality life, if you want to enjoy yourself, remember it's not about Channel 5 gets so damn serious, you know? And I really think that we're not here to suffer. We're here to enjoy our life and help other people do the same. So enjoy your day.